Episode 4 The Desperate Escape, Part 1. So a week ago, Zuri stumbled out of a club, tipsy and disoriented. She got into her car, blasting music, singing along, until she realizes that she's lost. Her phone's GPS stops working, and she drove until her car ran out of gas. With no service on her phone, Zuri was forced to walk through the dark, deserted streets, scared and alone. But just when she thought all hope was lost, a light appeared in the distance. So she ran towards it, finding an apartment with a shadowy figure inside. Zuri knocked, and the door creaked open to reveal a frantic man named Josh. Despite her pleas for help, Josh insisted that she leaves, citing ominous warnings. But then an older lady appeared from nowhere saying, "Hello, young lady, can I help you?" With a smile on her face. Josh immediately recognizes her, and his demeanor shifts from frantic to terrified as he drags Zuri into the apartment. It turns out that the older lady is the same woman from the previous episode with Jamal. Zuri is confused and frightened, tried to defend herself with pepper spray, but Josh manages to calm her down. She requested for a phone to dial for help from friends and family, but all of a sudden, a storm erupted outside, and the lights flickered and goes off. Josh's demeanor changes, and he whispers, "It's over now." Zuri was left bewildered, demanding answers as the storm intensified. Josh walks out of the room and disappears for a while. Then out of nowhere, in the dark, he appears from behind when Zuri wasn't looking and hits her on the head. She lands on the floor and he goes down. The next morning, Zuri wakes up in Josh's bed, her head throbbing with pain. A note on the bedside table which reads, "You have 5 days." The room had transformed to fit her personality. Her car was fueled, phone charged, and breakfast was waiting. Instantly, panic sets in as she realizes that she's probably trapped. So as each day went by, Zuri's desperation grew as she tried to escape. But every attempt ended in failure. She became notorious in the neighborhood as, in quotes, the crazy lady. As the day passed, Zuri's hope dwindled, and she had resigned herself to her fate. But in a last-ditch effort, she wrote a letter to whoever might find themselves in her situation. So it's a stormy evening, and just as Zuri was about to give up, a knock at the door interrupted her despair. Alas, it is Jamal, drenched and seeking help. Zuri, still reeling from her own ordeal, was unmoved by Jamal's plight. She left him in the living room, retreating to her room to collect her thoughts. Then a text message arrives, shocking Zuri. It says, "Your time is up, but you can only leave if someone takes your place." As she looked out the window, the rain-soaked streets seemed to stretch on forever. There she sees the creepy neighbors. The ones who were once menacing now seemed to be urging her to flee. One neighbor, her body contorting in a struggle, warned Zuri to run, revealing she had been trapped for years without a replacement. The storm intensified, and Zuri knew that she had to act. Without hesitation, she grabbed her phone, keys and shoes, creeping into the living room where Jamal waited. Zuri's eyes locked onto Jamal, and with a surge of adrenaline, she hit him with a pistol, rendering him unconscious. So as she turned to flee, she felt a bit of guilt. So she rushes back to the wall where she had created a crack, retrieved the letter she had written earlier, Then with a final scribble, she left a warning for Jamal. The storm raged on as Zuri sprinted out into the ring. Jumping into her car, the engine roared to life and she sped away from the apartment. Watching in her rearview mirror as the house disappeared into the distance. As she drove, Zuri's phone erupted with notifications. She answered a call from her mother and the two shared a tearful reunion. Zuri's relief washed over her as she realizes she was finally free. "I'm on my way to you now, Mom," Zuri says with her voice trembling. The conversation continued, a soothing balm to Zuri's frazzled nerves. As she drove, the darkness of the past few days began to recede, replaced by a warm golden light, the promise of a new beginning.